As everyone knows, our world is dying. The oceans have covered all land at a 90 feet or lower elevation, and all crops have withered and died. Our temperature is at an unbearable 50 degrees Celsius. 7 billion people have already died, and more will follow if a new place to live is not discovered.
Fortunately, a top-secret mission called Mission Home has the solution, and they are finally telling the world. Today we have one of their engineers here to tell us about their plan.
I'm Ricardo from Mission Home.
Thank you for joining us out here today. Can you tell us a little bit more about why the Earth is becoming inhabitable?
Of course! Ever since the Industrial Revolution that began in 1820, our Earth has been getting destroyed. This is due to a process called anthropogenic climate change, as humans put out more gases into the atmosphere, mainly through industrial activity. The gases accumulate and form a shield over the planet. Certain gases such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons block heat from radiating out into space. This is called the greenhouse effect. Human activity like the use of electricity, the burning of fuels, the driving of cars escalates this process.
Wow.
Because the burning of coal and oils puts more gases, especially carbon dioxide, into the atmosphere. As time has gone by, the Earth's temperature has risen to deadly levels. This temperature has caused the ice caps to melt and flood the land. The crops have been unable to grow, and 90 million people have died from loss of land, food, and horrible temperatures. The average temperature right now is 120 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow, is there any way we can reverse the change that has happened?
As of right now, there is no way to reverse the effects. The only solution is to find a new planet to live on.
So what is the name of this new planet that you guys have in mind?
Oh, Kepler 186f.
Can you tell us more about its location?
It is located 558 light years away in the Cygnus galaxy. The galaxy is an elliptical galaxy with a supermassive black hole in the center.
Wow, that's really, really far away. How do you think we're going to get there?
Mission Home has a team of over 100,000 people, and we have already developed the way to get there. Our spaceships, the Axion fleet, move at a speed of 149,000 kilometers per second. This is half the speed of light, and therefore it will take 1,116 years to reach Kepler 186f. We currently have built 1,000 spaceships that can each hold 6,000 people. With this plan, everyone will be able to leave the planet Earth and live in better conditions. Our spaceships are like mini cities. They are full of things to do, things to eat, and things to learn. Our main team will be frozen during the journey for when we land. We can provide knowledge. Everyone else will continue life on the spaceship. We will provide classes as well for people who can learn knowledge needed to inhabit the new planet.
So what is this new planet like? Is it similar to Earth?
Because it is so far away, we can't fully be sure of its composition, but we do know that it is very similar to Earth. The Fringe telescope that was discovered in 2150 found that 71% covered in water and rocky Earth-based substances. It probably differentiated into layers like Earth as well. It's mostly has an iron core and then progressively less dense layers.
Is the weather similar to the weather on Earth?
A year on Kepler 186f is on 130 days. Therefore, it probably does not have extreme seasonal changes like Earth. Calculations have shown that the average temperature is between 20 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Therefore, it's a pretty comfortable temperature for life.
Wow, it's very different from our temperatures right now. Do you know if we'll be able to breathe the atmosphere?
That is the only concern about Kepler 186f. The atmosphere is definitely thick and carbon dioxide rich, but we do not know its composition. But don't worry, we have a plan in place for if it's not breathable. The atmosphere will not be an issue.
That's really, really good. Could you give our listeners an overall summary of why Kepler 186f is a habitable planet? Habitable.
Of course, we can break this down to a few major things. It's the only planet that can be habitable that is similar to the size of Earth. All others have been way larger and therefore most likely gaseous. Also, their gravity would be very different. Kepler 186f has a very similar gravity to Earth. Also, this planet has a large amount of water. Water is necessary for life. It also has a good temperature and is rocky and therefore can support soil and plants. Therefore, we will have food and a solid ground to stand on.
Are there any changes that will have to be made to the planet before we can live on it?
As I mentioned before, the composition of the atmosphere is uncertain. Our engineers have designed domes of Kevlar, dirt and steel. They will be able to withstand all weather conditions and provide the perfect atmospheric conditions. Also, they will provide protection from solar radiation. We will also build factories that pump greenhouse gases into the air. Therefore, we should create a similar atmosphere to Earth. We would do this by burning coal and other natural gases. We'll also plant millions of acres of plants to produce oxygen. The surface seems ideal for growth, but we would still bring lots of seeds and loads of rocks and soil to produce a familiar Earth-like surface. The plan is also to bring fertilizer to support the plant's healthy growth. Our team would also bring millions of animals and crops to the farm for food. The planet already has water, but we will bring purification systems and well equipment to ensure safe access to the water.
So what's your timeline for this mission?
We plan to leave 5 years from now in January 2243. Our estimates have shown that by that time, Earth will be even more deadly than it is today. By 2024, if everyone stays on Earth, it will be completely covered in water.
Wow, that's terrible. What year do you expect to arrive on this new planet?
The spaceships should arrive in 3339.
When should you expect Kepler 186f to be habitable?
We have set aside 10 years for our staff to test conditions and discover modifications that will be needed to the atmosphere and surface. We expect these modifications will take around 100 years. During those 100 years, we will also construct living areas in the planet. Luckily, though our spaceships are likely like small cities, so many people will be able to continue life in the spaceship.
What will you do once the modifications are made and the planet is declared habitable?
We will bring 100,000 people off the spaceship per year into new housing. Some people will live on the spaceships.
Wow, that really sounds like a great plan. Now back to the studio. Thank you.
That is incredible. It really sounds like a great idea.
This will be our last broadcast on Earth since the greenhouse effect has disrupted electricity and power sources.
See you on Kepler 186f.